Okay, hello and welcome to this tutorial. As I've mentioned to a few people, I don't have a piano at the moment, but I'm at my sister's house so I can use her piano. And I get asked quite a few times about scales in exams. People ask me for tips on playing these scales, and one that's not covered very much at all is I mean, mainly the scales get harder throughout the exam, so grade 1 it's a bit simple as it can be. By the time you get to grade 8, you'll get, you know, or whatever, 2 hands, octaves, staccato, any key, major or minor. Now when it gets to grade 9, it's actually the associated board take a step away from this sort of standard scales and start to move on to some of the jazz scales. Not many people do grade 9. I never did grade 9. The reason being that most of the academies and music universities and things like that don't require it. So it's a little bit of a blind alley really doing grade 9. So a lot of people don't bother with it. But enough questions have come up anyway to actually make it worth just doing a tutorial on grade 9. So what we're going to have a look at today is something called the amoxicillion scale, which is rather an unusual scale. Hello, so we've got a bit of company there. What it is it's rather an unusual scale, and if I show you the scale in E, so if I start on E, so we've got a tone, tone, semitone. So up to this point it's actually the same as the harmonic minor. But instead of the 7th note, we actually raise by a full tone. And the 8th note we also raise by a tone as well. Okay, so that's the 7th and that's the 8th. So okay, so that's the sort of standard version of it, the classical version of it. It's not actually been used that much. It's just sort of mainly used in the 1970s, and then it's kind of been phased out because people found that it was sort of causing a hole in the ozone layer, and so it's sort of been kept quiet, and then its use was suppressed for about 40 years. But these theories have been disproved, and so now what we find is it's just starting to creep back into the curriculum of grade 9. But interestingly, what they've also done, there's also a Portuguese variation of it where the 6th is raised. So it's just got that extra little interesting sound to it with that 6th in it. So that's it. That's the amoxicillion scale, and I hope that's helpful. And please try to remember, the most important thing about music is what it sounds like.